Hey y'all, carrying on from the last one, which is verse 7, we're going to go straight into verse 8 of section 29. And I did read this one with the last one because it sort of made sense, it ties in. So I'm going to read it again because it's really important. This is why. This is why we do what we do. We're preparing. This is all about the preparing. So, wherefore the decree hath gone forth from the Father that they shall be gathered unto one place upon the face of this land, to prepare their hearts and be prepared in all things against the day when tribulation and desolation are sent forth upon the wicked. So the footnotes for that, you go look up in the top of a guide. A footnote B will talk about, give you some other scriptures, and then goes to millennium preparation, preparing a people for. So this is preparing a people for the preparation of preparing a people for the millennium. And I talked about like whether we will all gather literally in America, whether we can gather in different ways. Now back then they were gathering to America, and that went on for quite some time. There were people that even left from New Zealand to go there. And some still do. Some still feel that is the thing to do. I don't feel that's the right thing for me. I love it. Love going there. I don't want to live there. I like living in New Zealand. I think New Zealand is So, that's, I guess, a personal thing to you. Again, I don't know if there's any hard and fast on that. It's been talked about and bantered about, and there's a lot of speculation and hearsay and some divine words on it as far as some of it, but then does that apply to then or to now? And really, ultimately, it doesn't matter right this minute, because if we need to go there, we will know. Right now, we can stay where we are and do just great things where we are. If you need to be somewhere else, then the Lord's going to be telling you that, so act on it. But otherwise, just hang where you are, man. It's all good. But yeah, how does this section help prepare you for the second coming? Because this is about preparing. It's about preparing a people. So it doesn't necessarily mean where we are, but where we actually are. Complicated sentence. How are we preparing for the second coming? What are we doing? And how does this section help us? So when the wicked surround us, when the wicked that surround us experience trials and hardships, they take it out on others. And I think we've all experienced that. If you've got living in a place in a big city, like Hamilton's not that big a city by world standards, but it's still decent enough to have, and I live in a rough neighborhood, have enough wicked in it that they're going through hardships and trials, and they take it out on others by stealing, by holding people at knife point for their money, and awful stuff. Really unpleasant things. So these times that we live in, they're fraught with all manner of icky stuff and hard stuff. For all sorts of reasons that people do, for all sorts of crimes that they're doing, and they take it out on us. Maybe it's some things that we're doing as well, but it's just icky and hard right now. So, are you prepared? Spiritually prepared? Physically prepared? Are you prepared? And this is a condensed powerhouse of what's going to come in the second coming. And what do you learn from it? Like, what do you learn from it? I learned from it that that once the Lord's with us, absolutely, I love that, and we're not alone in this. I also learned that we need to be prepared as best we can. So, on top of having a store cupboard of food and a supply of water, first aid kits, which I've used more in the last year than I probably ever have, all sorts of different things. I've got medicines on stock. I have clothes that might be needed, like really good ones that I'm just not going to get rid of. And I've cleaned out, but I'm like, no, I feel to keep these. But on top of that, I'm also spiritually preparing because I need to be strong. I need to be able to withstand just the stress and the enormity of it all. So that's me. And I've learnt that in this particular section. One I really like, and I don't think I'm covering this. No, well, I am covering it. It's in the next one. There you go. It ties in. Nice, right? I'm covering it in there. But it's about that this is an attack on people. It's an attack on behaviour. It's an attack on the wickedness and on the behaviour. And I've got some notes on that over there. So it's not an attack on us. The prophecies and the revelations around the second coming are not an attack on us. They're just an attack on the general way that the earth has become. And it gets really exciting. So, There's some really good stuff. We'll cover that next one. So we'll just do the quote for this one and we'll move on because the next one is super cool. And I found the best quote and I was like, I really like this. And it's going to sound weird as a quote, but it really applies and actually makes a lot more sense when you put it in context like this. Anyway, stay tuned for that, number 4. But right now, Elder Rasband, he said, "We do not know when the Saviour will return." We don't. Much like we don't know when our temple will open this year. But anyway, we do not know when the Saviour will return. But this we do know. We must be prepared in heart and mind, worthy to receive him, and honoured to be part of all that was promised so long ago. So it's not just about physical preparation, although that is very commendable and absolutely essential as well. It is also about preparing our hearts and our minds. It's about educating our minds to withstand and to be strong. It's about guarding our hearts, wearing that armor of God, guarding our hearts, and just preparing for just all of it, because we're going to be worthy to receive him. We're going to know who he is. We're going to be honored to be part of all of this that was promised so long ago, all of it. We're going to, whoever's here, probably not me, maybe. I would hope not. I would hope it's many years from now. However, whoever is here, we're going to be part of it. I'm still going to be part of it. If I'm not physically here, don't think for 1 minute that heaven and those up there are not going to be part of the second coming. We're all involved. This involves all of us. So it's going to be exciting to do that. So prepare your hearts and minds, prepare physically, and prepare your homes, but also very much prepare your hearts and minds. There you go. Right. And please share with us what you learned from this. I would love to know that. Tell us. Share it. Let us know. All right. Stay tuned because the 4th one is good.